Denise, you want to talk about Olympia at all?
Right?
I was part of two fitness shows. One was Fitness Beach on ESPN2, and the infamous Body Shaping.
With that Israeli guy. You were on that show, weren't you?
I was not on the show with the Israeli guy. I was on the show with Rick Valenti.
Yes.
And
Rick Valenti, yeah.
And then Fitness Beach, there were 4 women on the show in Jamaica training people from the beach.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I used to love that show.
That was great.
It'd be like drooling seeing Denise on there. She was looking good.
Fantastic.
We used to watch the shows in the gym in the morning, and I remember that someday I said, I want to be on that show. And somehow it happens.
When did you start working out at Olympia?
In 88, it was 1988. I was about 5 years old at the time.
5? Yes, you were 5. That's what I heard. 5. 4.5, I thought.
Maybe, but probably closer to 4.
Wow. Still got the sense of humor. I like that. Good sense of humor.
I'm from Orange.
Yes, you are. Wow.
I think that's right when I stopped competing. Because I was dating Gerard's sister at the time. I think my last show was 86. I still worked out at Olympia.
You were on the way out at that time. You were still training, and then
And
after
Gerard
a few
was still
years,
competing.
and Gerard was like starting to get up there in terms of his visibility and getting into the magazines.
So you were really popular then.
It was in, let's see, it was in the 90s that I started competing. I did a bodybuilding show, the Gold's Classic, that I won. One bodybuilding show, and then fitness started in 92, and I won the Fitness America, the East Coast, and then I went into the Nationals, and then the next year I went into the Nationals, placed both years, and then I was invited to the first ever Fitness Olympia in 95.
Wow. What was that like?
I was on stage with Lee Labrada, Lee Haney, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I got to meet people that were telling me that they admired me, like Frank Zane, which was incredible. And who was the first Mr. Olympia? Do you remember?
First Mr. Olympia. Who was the first Mr.
The first Mr. Olympia was Sando. Or no, they called the trophy the Sando Award.
The gentleman who won the first Mr. Olympia came up to me and gave me a great compliment. So I didn't think I was that good until that show.
That's great. See, she was on a national level.
Wow. What?
Wow.
It was. No, listen.
Yeah. I mean,
Think of all the things you've done.
That's a big accomplishment.
It opened up the world, right?
It absolutely opened up the world. It opened up opportunities to travel. It opened up opportunities to be on television, to model, to meet a lot of interesting and famous people. It really changed my life. Who would have ever thought that working out in Olympia Gym on Bloomfield Avenue in Verona, New Jersey would change my life?
I mean, that it did. I mean, anything's possible. I think that's what you.
And if you go back in time, I'm sure the both of you remember, there were very few women training in a gym with men at the time. When I started training, I started dating Mr. New York in 85 or 86, and I wanted to start working out. I was so impressed with what he was able to do with his body by training, and his words to me were, "Don't join a man's gym."
Really? That's what he said?
So I did it anyway.
Yeah, because you're from Orange.
That's right.
And you don't take shit from anybody.
That's right.
Wow.
And who did you look up to? Who was your...
Rachel McLeish.
Rachel McLeish.
Absolutely.
I know it.
Rachel McLeish.
Yeah.
I had a poster of her hanging on my wall.
How about Corey Everson?
Love Corey Everson.
Yeah.
I met Corey Everson. I was on the first cover of Muscle and Fitness Hers in 1999, and I met Corey Everson at the Olympia. We were both at the Olympia in 99, not competing, and she came up to me and also complimented me, which was probably one of the biggest compliments I had ever gotten from Corey Everson herself.
Wow. I mean, you're like, yeah, I put the work in.
And drug-free. I just want to throw that out there.
Yes.
All natural. Never took a drug, steroid in my life.
Right. Well, you look natural.
That's
You-
incredible.
yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. She's awesome. Just keep talking. I'm like, whatever Denise says, it's good. So, but are you still work out? Your daughter works out?
My daughter does not work out, although she looks like she does. She is exercise adverse. She doesn't like to exercise. My exercise regime is very limited to walking and riding the bike.
Respect.
Couple surgeries later.
That was the next question I was going to ask.
Couple surgeries later, 2 hip replacements, knee replacement on the way.
Really, both hips have been replaced. Wow.
Yeah, one about 5 months ago.
Wow. When do you get the knees next?
Hopefully we can hold that off for another year or two, but it's not looking good.
And you're competing with Mike, you're doing all this and everything's copacetic. I mean, your knees, everything. How's
Well, I had a 12-hour back surgery in 2000, and then I had my knee replaced like 3 years ago. So that picture I showed you 6 years ago, my knee was on a 17-degree angle, so it was bent, and it was like so I like actually literally hobbled on stage. I limped on stage. But like I have the mindset, like when it's like David Goggins, like who's gonna carry the boats?
Do what you have to do.
I'm gonna carry the boats, stack them up. It's all mental toughness.
I had an injury 7 days out of the Fitness Olympia, and I couldn't walk. Same thing. And I somehow managed to get on stage, make it through my routine, and then I couldn't squat. I didn't squat anymore after that. So
Really? That was it?
that was it.
Wow.
I think the squats did me in too. I mean, Ronnie Coleman's a mess. He can't even walk. He squatted 800 for 3 reps. I did 750 for 3 reps. It's definitely not worth going heavy.
I did 225 for 6 reps.
Wow.
My warm-up was 135 for 20.
Wow.
Wow.
As I trained with all these,
Yeah.
the Benamarito brothers who taught me how to squat and deadlift, and then all these die-hard gym guys. That's how I learned. But Michael, do you have people ask you, would you do it again?
Would I do it again? Yeah.
Knowing that you would have these injuries?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and what do you say?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
100%.
That's what I wanted to ask you. That's what life is. You go through life. I mean, you can't. I wouldn't change anything.
Because what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That's what I said.
And based on the people that are here, the friendships that we've had over 35 years, it was not just a place we went to train, but it was a place where we went to be with our friends.
It was a family.
It was a family.
Everybody has said that to me.
Olympia.
Family.
We've trained at many different gyms, and I've trained at gyms all around the world, but there was no place like Olympia Gym in Verona. And there never will be again.
Ever.
Ever.
It's the unicorn of gyms.
Yeah, it was. I'm trying to talk Gerard into opening up a gym, but we'll see.
He said he's training with his son at the house,
He
right?
does MMA,
I want to go watch his son do MMA.
and he wants to build a gym for his son, open an MMA gym in Florida, I believe. But his son, he said, is ripped. Mr. Girardi's very strict, so he's very disciplined. So the son is going to be the same.
And that's a great word, discipline. That's one thing that we learned from the way we trained and when we prepared for a competition is you had to be very disciplined. And that carried over, I think, into my adult life, into your adult life, into your business and what I do as a profession. That our lessons from training carried over into our successes as adults.
Yeah, if you're not disciplined, you won't be successful at anything in life, really.
What do you do? What do you do, Michael? What?
I do granite and marble work, kitchens and stuff.
Very easy, very light work.
Well, I don't lift it anymore. I got guys to do that.
Exactly.
And then I run a security team for Kushner Academy in Livingston.
Okay.
The Jared Kushner family.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we all know. We don't.